Hey everyone, and welcome to the Women of War podcast, where we dive into the untold stories of women's bravery, struggles, and resilience in the midst of conflict. I am your host, Megan, and together we'll explore the powerful narratives of women who've stood on the front lines, those who have been caught in the crossfires, and the lasting impact war has had on their lives. From ancient warriors to modern day heroes, we'll uncover the roles women have played in shaping history throughout war and peace. So grab your headphones and let's embark on this journey to hear the voices of women who fought battles both seen and unseen. Get ready for an eye-opening experience on the Women of War podcast. Alrighty, today's episode is on the remarkable life and legacy of Catherine of Aragon, one of the most influential queens in English history. As we delve into her story, we will uncover the complexities of her reign, her strategic prowess, and her enduring impact on Tudor England. So let's jump into it. Catherine's journey began with her marriage to Henry VIII's older brother, Arthur, Prince of Wales. However, Arthur's untimely death left Catherine in a precarious position, caught between the shifting tides of diplomacy and alliance between Spain and England. It wasn't until Henry VII's death in 1509 that Catherine's fortunes changed, as Henry VIII ascended to the throne and promptly married his brother's widow, forging a loving relationship that would eventually be tested by political pressures and personal desires. Despite the popular image of Catherine as a dowdy and overly pious queen, recent scholars and cultural depictions have highlighted her charisma, intelligence, and widespread popularity among her subjects. She was not merely a passive figurehead, but an active participant in the governance and protection of England, particularly during Henry's military campaigns. In 1513, Catherine was entrusted with command of the kingdom while Henry waged war against France. Her leadership during this time was characterized by meticulously planning strategic mobilizations of resources and a willingness to take on unprecedented roles, challenging the notion of warfare as exclusively male-dominated and a male domain. The pinnacle of Catherine's leadership came during the Battle of Flodden in 1513, when she personally oversaw preparations and rallied troops in defense of England against Scottish forces. While the details of her direct involvement in the battle remain debated, her role as a decisive leader during this tumultuous time cannot be denied. Following Flodden, Catherine's reputation as a capable and determined queen only grew, solidifying her position as a revered figure in English history. Despite the challenges she faced, including Henry's later attempts to divorce her, Catherine remained steadfast in her belief and fought fiercely for her marriage and the Catholic faith. In conclusion, Catherine of Aragon's legacy is that of a woman who defied expectations, challenges gender norms and fought relentlessly for what she believed in. Her courage, resilience, and unwavering commitment to her principles continue to inspire generations, leaving an incredible mark on the annals of history. Okay, so I'm going to do something a little bit different here. Definitely since this is a new podcast and I'm still figuring things out, I want to make sure that everything is enticing and fun while also learning. And so I'm going to kind of give you what I feel like what happened when Catherine was preparing for the Scottish to invade in a play-like scenario. So I hope y'all enjoy. Here's the scene. A grand hall in Tudor England. The room is adorned with rich tapestries, candlelit chandeliers, and a large portrait of Henry VIII looming over the scene. A group of advisors huddled together, deep in discussion. Catherine of Aragon, regal and composed, enters the room, her presence commanding attention. The first advisor. Your Majesty, we must prepare for the impending conflict with Scotland. James IV has declared war, and our borders are under threat. Catherine nods solemnly. Indeed, the safety of our realm is of paramount importance. We cannot afford to underestimate the threat posed by our northern neighbors. A second advisor. Your Grace, we have assembled a plan to mobilize our forces to fortify our defenses along the border. However, we lack significant resources and manpower to ensure victory. Catherine raises an eyebrow thoughtfully. Then we must find a solution. We cannot allow our kingdom to falter in the face of adversity. What measures have been taken to secure additional support? A third advisor. Your Highness, we have reached out to our allies and neighboring countries, requesting reinforcements and supplies. But the time is of the essence. We must act swiftly to bolster our defenses. Catherine nods approvingly. Very well. I shall personally oversee the preparations and ensure that every resource at our disposal is utilized to its fullest extent. We shall not falter in our duty to defend England. Cut to Catherine's chambers where she is poring over maps and military reports. A sense of determination radiates from her as she confers with her trusted advisors. Catherine, addressing her advisors. Gentlemen, we must leave no stone unturned in our preparations for the coming conflict. Every detail must be meticulously planned and everything accounted for. One of the advisors. Your Majesty, may I suggest deploying our forces strategically along the border using the terrain to our advantage? We could establish fortified positions to repel any insurgents from the Scots. Catherine nods in agreement. An excellent suggestion. We shall ensure that our defenses are formidable and that our troops are well equipped to withstand any assault. But we must also consider the morale of our soldiers. They must be inspired to fight with courage and conviction. Cut to the battlefield where Catherine stands alongside her troops. She's in armor and wielding a banner emblazoned with the royal crest. The sound of war echoes in the distance as she addresses her soldiers. Catherine, raising her voice to be heard over the din of battle. Brave warriors of England, today we stand unified in defense of our homeland against the forces of tyranny and oppression. Let it be known that we shall not yield to the enemy, nor shall we falter in our resolve. For we fight not only for ourselves, but for the future generations who shall inherit the legacy of our courage and sacrifice. The soldiers all cheer in response, their spirits lifted by Catherine's words. With renewed determination, they prepare to face the enemy with unwavering resolve. Cut to the aftermath of the battle, where Catherine surveys the field with a mixture of relief and sorrow. The ground is strewn with fallen warriors, testament to the fierce struggle that had just taken place. Catherine bowing her head in resolve, we mourn the loss of those who have fallen in defense of our kingdom. Their sacrifice shall not be forgotten, nor shall their valor be in vain. Let us honor their memory by continuing to fight until victory is ours. As Catherine's words resound across the battlefield, the surviving soldiers rally around her, their spirits lifted and undiminished by the hardships they have endured. Together, they stand ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, secure in the knowledge that their queen stands with them, a beacon of hope in a time of darkness. So thank you for bearing with me during this, and let me know in the comments if you like it, if you want me to keep doing stuff like this. But yeah. Alrighty, so here are my thoughts about Catherine and a little bit on King Henry VIII. So King Henry VIII's best thing he ever did was marry his sister-in-law, Catherine, after his father's death. She was the people's queen. She was strong, smart, and had the ability of leadership, which is not something that women were necessarily able to show off in that time. She had so many struggles, not just with her husband, but also as a mother. She had numerous pregnancies, but only Mary survived, who later became queen. And Catherine definitely had the people's love and backing. And she really rallied her troops and soldiers. And she was not a native of England. She was from Spain. And so, Catherine was definitely strong. And she was a wartime queen. And a queen who went to war, which are not necessarily always the same thing. And so, yeah. So those are my thoughts, and I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. This is Megan signing off with Women of War Podcast. Don't forget to like, love, subscribe, comment, all those things. It really does help the podcast grow, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all.